Have you ever wondered what lies beneath the picturesque landscapes of California? The answer might surprise you. Beneath the surface, a sleeping giant stirs, raising concerns and curiosity alike. California, renowned for its sunny skies and scenic beauty, faces a new potential threat: volcanic activity. Recent signs of unrest at the Long Valley caldera, a massive volcanic crater near Mammoth Mountain, have caught the attention of scientists and residents alike. Could a major eruption be on the horizon? Let's delve into the fascinating and complex history of volcanic activity in this region. California's landscape is shaped by a history of significant volcanic events, with the Long Valley caldera being one of the most notable. Approximately 760,000 years ago, a super eruption occurred here, releasing an enormous volume of magma and reshaping the terrain. This event, one of the largest in North American history, left behind a caldera, a vast depression in the Earth's surface that stretches 20 miles long and 10 miles wide. This geological feature is not just a relic of the past but a subject of ongoing scientific study. Over the last 4 decades, increased seismic activity and ground deformation have raised concerns. In 1980, a series of earthquakes with magnitudes up to 6 and 7 signaled heightened activity, prompting further investigation. Recent studies using advanced technology, including machine learning algorithms and high-resolution ground images, have provided new insights into the caldera's behavior. Scientists have been trying to determine whether the observed activity is a precursor to another super eruption or something less alarming. Current research suggests that the recent earthquakes and ground swelling are due to the cooling and crystallizing magma releasing gases and fluids, rather than a buildup of eruptible magma. While this is somewhat reassuring, the region remains geologically active. California's volcanic narrative isn't limited to the Long Valley caldera. Mount Shasta, a towering stratovolcano in northern California, also plays a significant role. Standing at 14,179 feet, Mount Shasta is part of the Cascade Range, a chain of volcanoes extending from California to British Columbia. This region has experienced various volcanic events, from explosive eruptions to fluid lava flows, shaping the landscape and posing potential threats. Monitoring efforts by the U.S. Geological Survey, USGS, and other organizations involve using seismometers, GPS stations, and gas emission sensors to detect signs of volcanic activity. This comprehensive surveillance aims to provide early warnings of potential eruptions, ensuring the safety of nearby communities. NASA, known for its space missions, also contributes to monitoring volcanic activity. Using satellites like MODIS and ASTA, NASA provides critical data on ground deformation, thermal anomalies, and gas emissions, helping to predict and understand volcanic behavior. The Bible frequently references earthquakes as manifestations of divine presence or judgment, attributing these natural phenomena to the power and will of God. This view reflects a broader ancient understanding where natural events were often seen as messages or signs from the divine realm, conveying both warning and awe. Earthquakes, in particular, were perceived as direct and dramatic interventions by God in human affairs, symbolizing significant moments in biblical narratives. One of the most poignant references to an earthquake in the Bible occurs in the New Testament, specifically in the Gospel of Matthew. In Matthew chapter 27 verse 51-54, an earthquake is described at the moment of Jesus Christ's crucifixion. This event is not merely a geological occurrence but is imbued with profound spiritual symbolism. According to the passage, the earth shook, rocks split, and the tombs broke open. The veil of the temple, which separated the Holy of Holies from the rest of the temple, was torn in two from top to bottom. This tearing of the veil symbolizes the removal of the barrier between God and humanity, signifying that through Jesus' sacrificial death, all people now have direct access to the divine. The accompanying earthquake serves as a cosmic affirmation of this momentous event, highlighting the significance of Jesus' death and the theological implications of his sacrifice. In the book of Revelation, earthquakes are depicted as apocalyptic signs, often associated with the end times and God's final judgment. These references are found throughout the text, such as in Revelation chapter 6 verse 12, where a great earthquake is described as part of the opening of the sixth seal, accompanied by celestial disturbances such as the sun turning black and the moon becoming like blood. Such imagery conveys a sense of cosmic upheaval and divine intervention in the world. The earthquake signifies a dramatic and transformative event, indicating the culmination of God's plan for humanity and the world. It emphasizes the power and majesty of God, who can shake the very foundations of the earth as part of the divine will. Earthquakes in the Bible also often accompany theophanies, where God visibly or audibly manifests himself to humans. In the Old Testament, one notable example is found in the book of Exodus, during the giving of the Ten Commandments on Mount Sinai. As described in Exodus chapter 19 verse 18, the mountain trembled violently, and the people were filled with fear and awe at the display of God's power. This event underscores the seriousness and sanctity of the law being given, highlighting the direct involvement of God in the covenant with his people. In another Old Testament example, the prophet Elijah experiences an earthquake as part of a series of natural phenomena demonstrating God's presence in 1 Kings chapter 19 verse 11-12. However, in this instance, the Bible notes that God was not in the earthquake but rather in a still small voice, or a gentle whisper that followed. This narrative illustrates that while God can and does use dramatic natural events to communicate with humanity, he is also present in the quiet and subtle moments, emphasizing the need for discernment and attentive listening to perceive his presence. The symbolism of earthquakes in the Bible extends beyond their immediate physical impact, often representing a deeper spiritual or moral reality. They can signify God's judgment against sin, as seen in the story of Korah's rebellion in Numbers 16, where the ground opened up and swallowed the rebels, or in the judgment of Sodom and Gomorrah, where an earthquake accompanied the city's destruction. These events serve as warnings and reminders of the consequences of straying from God's commandments and the inevitable nature of divine justice. In the prophetic literature, earthquakes often symbolize political and social upheaval, reflecting the broader cosmic order. For instance, in Isaiah chapter 24 verse 19-20, an earthquake is part of a vision of the earth reeling and swaying like a drunkard, depicting the world's instability and the coming judgment. This imagery conveys a message about the transient nature of human kingdoms and the ultimate sovereignty of God over creation. Similarly, in Amos chapter 1 verse 1 and Zechariah chapter 14 verse 5, references to earthquakes highlight periods of significant change or crisis, whether due to divine intervention or human actions. The recurring theme of earthquakes in the Bible also has a theological dimension, reflecting the relationship between God and creation. In biblical thought, the earth and all its elements are under God's control, and natural phenomena are often seen as expressions of his will. This view contrasts with modern secular perspectives that tend to interpret such events solely through scientific and naturalistic lenses. For the biblical authors and their audiences, the world is not merely a collection of physical processes, but a theater of divine action where every event, natural or otherwise, has potential spiritual significance. In conclusion, the portrayal of earthquakes in the Bible is rich with symbolic and theological meaning. These natural events are not just random occurrences but are woven into the fabric of biblical narratives as expressions of God's presence, power, and judgment. They serve as reminders of the divine sovereignty over creation and the moral order, emphasizing the significance of God's actions in history, whether as signs of theophany, judgment, or eschatological events. Earthquakes in the Bible call believers to recognize the deeper realities at work in the world and to respond with faith, reverence, and awe. Volcanic activity in California is a potent reminder of the natural forces at work beneath the Earth's surface. While the likelihood of a major eruption remains uncertain, the region's geological and spiritual significance continues to captivate scientists and the public alike. If you found this exploration intriguing, let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more deep dives into Earth's mysteries.